edition of First and Goal. I am your host, as always, C3 First and Goal. Do me a favor if you haven't already. Follow me on X/Twitter at First and Goal _FNG. That's FIRSTANGOAL_FNG. Also, now available on YouTube and other platforms where you get all your podcast needs. Now, let's get into the show. All right, everybody. In today's episode, I will break down the epic Battle of the Cats. Yes, you heard me right. The Battle of the Cats. Also go over stats, key obs, and takes. Man, you know the drill. Let's get it. So, the Carolina Panthers took on the Cincinnati Bengals Sunday, September 29th, 1 p.m. in Carolina, facing defeat in a tough showdown via the Battle of the Cats. 34-24, the Carolina Panthers fall to 1-3 and look to take on Chicago next week in Chi-Town. So, quick overview on the game. Overall, I really feel like we played a great game. Oh, obviously, we came up short, so there were some things we need to clean up. Obviously, we're going to go into autos in a little bit here, but we definitely played, a very good game. I'm very happy with the offense production. Very, very happy with the offensive production over the last two games. Defensively, we're down bad with the injuries. So again, they're not really going to perform well as a unit when you have guys that are on the practice squad coming up. But overall, still not too bad. Defensively, offensively, again, great. So I'm still super, super, super excited about this team and what we can accomplish moving forward. And I really hope all of my listeners and all of our fans, even if you're not a adamant listener of my show here, it would be it's a great time. We got a lot of promise moving forward with this offensive line. Again, with the possibility, with maybe a Bryce return, or again with another, elite potential quarterback. Things are definitely just looking so much better, and it's so great to watch competent, complementary football. It's great. Getting first down, and I know it sounds ridiculous, right? Because we're talking basic stuff, but that's just where we're at as a franchise right now. Just getting the basics right and looking halfway decent is a win, and it's not a morale thing. It's not like, oh, moral victories, yay. No, no, it's not even like that. We're coming off a tough year, and we just want to see improvement, and we are. So that is a great positive. So let's roll into some stats here. You know how I break down the show. Always stats, yada yada yada. I'm really tired today. You know what I mean? So, first downs. Cincinnati had 24, Carolina 24 first downs, so not too bad. Love to see us getting those first downs. Passing first downs, Cincinnati 14, Carolina 12. Rushing 6 Cincinnati, 10 to Carolina. Penalties from first down from penalties. Sorry, 4 for Cincinnati. Obviously, we're going to be talking about that. And then 2 for Carolina. Third down efficiency, always a key factor here. I always highlight it on my notes because this is a big thing that I like to talk about. Cincinnati was 7 for 13, while Carolina was 7 for 14. So we weren't that bad, and neither was Cincinnati, which, as I like to go over the stats first, because as we break it down, we can really look at it and see that the stats are very telling of the game. So 7 for 13 for Cincinnati. Again, 7-14 for Carolina. Very close, and it was a close game. Moving forward, fourth down, something we're going to talk about too. Cincinnati 0 for 0. I say it every time. If you don't gotta, you're going to win a game if you don't got to go for it on fourth down. Usually, not saying that you can't, but you get it. Anyways, 1 for 3 for Carolina. We'll talk about that fourth down in a minute, but moving on here, total plays, Cincinnati had 62, where we had 70. Carolina had 70. That is quite Not a significant difference, but we had 8 more plays. Yeah, we gotta finish. Jeez, we gotta finish. Let's look at the yards here. Total yards 373, yep, for Cincinnati, and then 375 for Carolina. So we had a couple more yards literally than Cincinnati did, but did fall short. Total drives 10 for Cincinnati, and we had an extra drive with 11 over Cincinnati. Again, as you can see, very telling. We statistically won this game, but we fell short over some missed opportunities. Shout out to Ron Rivera. Every time I say it, I can't not think of that guy. I love that guy. He was awesome, man. But yeah, missed opportunities. Hate hearing it in the press conferences for sure, but definitely some missed opportunities here. Absolutely. So yards per play. They had 6 yards per play. We had 5.5 at a 5.4. We'll round up. Not too shabby. Again, these stats are looking real close. This was a close game. So passing yards, they had 232. We had 220. Yards per pass was 7.5 for them, where we were at 5.5. Interceptions were tied at 1 apiece. Sacks. This is a really good, stat for, I guess both teams, but not us in the same sense, but also good, however. But 0 sacks across the board. So no quarterback was sacked in this game. There was that pressure there that led to that interception from Xavier Woods, but they, obviously didn't get sacked. So yeah, no quarterbacks got sacked this game. By the kind of downside for us, I would like to see, us get pressure on Joe Burrow. It's just crazy. But again, we're going to get into all that. But stats don't lie. Rushing yards. Cincinnati had 141 total, while we had 155 total. Shout out Chuba Hubbard. My boy is cooking out there, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to see more love from my boy. My boy is out here. All right, he is absolutely laying down the hammer. He literally ate his Wheaties these last, I don't even say these last few games, this offseason. My boy has been, watch his workout videos. He out there, deadlifted 650, 800 like it's nothing. I don't want to over exaggerate, but yeah, this guy's out there, Chuba Hubbard, my boy, crushing it. Anyways, rushing attempts, 31 by Cincy, 29 by us, so right there again. And then rushing yards per attempt, or I'm sorry, yeah, rushing yards per rush, 4.5 for Cincinnati. And then we had 5.3. So we'll say 5.5 here. And yeah, I mean, we're cooking on the ground game, man. We can't give that up. We really have to stay dedicated to it. A stab at Miles Sanders, but I would like us to feed Chuba Hubbard more, because obviously he is the efficient back and a workhorse who wants to eat. So we should give it to him as much as possible. But moving forward, red zones, they were perfect 3 for 3. Again, an area we have to get better. We have to try to get them down when they're in the red zone. So they were 3 for 3, perfect 100%, where we were 2 for 3, and that's what I mean. We can't allow that. We have to keep it the other way. If we can stop them from putting up any kind of points when they're in the red zone, that's huge. That is huge. Getting those red zone down would be really good. We got to really get that. That's going to be a key moving forward. But penalties, oh my God, don't even get me started on this game about penalties. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't care what these stats say. Probably one of the worst officiated games, that I've seen so far this season, at least for us. And it's sad because I was just praising the refs and the officiating team from last game versus Vegas, which again, we did have more penalties than the Raiders did, but it just seemed a little bit, and again, I said this in my opinion, it just seemed more fair. Like it just seemed like, the penalties just were more even in a sense, right? It wasn't that critical, as I said before, the critical third down, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, and then, we break a big run and it's a holding. And we've seen it time and time again in the Cincinnati game where they broke several different big runs or several different big plays, like the Jamar Chase play. No holding, nothing, bro. Are you kidding me? Are you nothing? Nothing. Everybody was perfect on those plays. It's just whatever. Again, I'm not going into a whole conspiracy thing, but this officiating game was oh my God, it was awful. It was just, I mean, we could have sneezed out there with the flag. Mind you, we only had 6 penalties for 37 yards, where Cincinnati had 5 for 39, so it is close, and they had more yards technically. But it's just, yeah, every penalty was so critical. It was at the worst time. possible. And that's what I mean. That's how they hurt you. They hurt you on them crucial drives. You're driving down the field, you're gaining some momentum. Now, defense kind of is slowing you down a bit. It's 3rd and 12, whatever reasons why. And now you make that conversion, third down conversion, and here comes the flags, whether it's holding on, the lineman or the wide receiver or something, something. False start, you know what I mean? And it's just something every time. And this game was, like I said, this is the game that really stand out to me for the common way that we're treated. That's why I had made a shout out to the officiating, because I felt like we finally were treated with a little respect and a little gratitude, which was great, And it was just really rough to watch that. Flags left and right. It was just so frustrating. So again, like I said, the Cincinnati Bengals had 5 for 39 yards, and then we had 6 penalties for 37 yards. So the officiating was just absolutely rough, left and right, PIs. I mean, everything, man. So, and some of those calls were legit. I'm not, going on a tangent here. I'm just saying, basically, that's the way we normally get treated. Just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we're in Carolina. Like, can we, there's literally a hurricane, floods just rampage the area, and you can't even give us a side eye on or a high eye on a play or something. Like, come on, man. I'm not asking for people to any cheating or anything like that. I'm just saying a little home cooking would be nice. You know what I mean? We're in Carolina. Give me something, man. Oh, that one hold, you didn't see it. That one time. Throw us a bone. That's what I mean. Throw us a bone. But it's okay. We know we ain't gonna get that bone. Um, And I'll actually talk about this quickly before moving on to the couple of stats that we have left. Is my conspiracy theory on the whole reason why I feel like we get calls per se more on us, or those critical flags or penalties, in crucial situations, as I was saying before, in those third downs, or we have momentum, whatever. So the main reason why I feel like this all kind of started when we had got Ed Reed. Right, Eric Reed. I'm sorry, Ed Reed. Wow, Eric Reed. Yes, 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 Eric Reed from San Fran or whatever, because he was a part of the Colin Kaepernick thing, the kneeling, and David Tepper just had become a new owner, and Eric Reed is obviously solid. He was a solid safety just sitting out there. Obviously, we're all kind of like, yo, we need to get this guy. And politically, I was against it. I'm not saying like, hey, it's not an I was right thing here at all by any means. It's just, my spiel. But I was only against it because politically, the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, how he was being blacklisted and everything. Obviously, if you weren't aware, he was Eric Reed was the first person to kneel with Colin Kaepernick, so he was also a very big advocate for all of that stuff, and essentially he was essentially getting blackballed, blacklisted, whatever, as well. So yeah, and that's when, and then David Tepper went and got him, and we signed him to our team, and I really feel like it kind of ramped up from that point on. Now, obviously, it's not like we always got the calls, don't get me wrong, and it's not like, I feel like every game was just fair prior to that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like it really just kind of escalated after we had went and got Eric Reed, who again was one of the main people to be associated with Colin Kaepernick in that whole process. So yeah, that's my little stint on that. I definitely stand by that. If you agree or don't agree, again, and you got me on Twitter, shoot me some DMs. Let me know what you think about that situation. That'd be great. And again, I am taking questions for. I'll be doing weekly mailbags and everything here coming up soon. Very, I was say shortly, but soon, shortly, whatever. But anyways, moving on. Eric Reed, look into that. So penalties, yada yada. Refs were just, all over us. Anyways, turnovers, one apiece. Nobody fumbled the ball, and there obviously the turnovers were interceptions. And the real funny thing about this game is that we controlled time of possession and still lost the game. But of course, it was not because we didn't have time possession or we're not good. We just had some missed opportunities when we had the ball. And obviously, we're going to get into that in a second here. But Cincinnati with 28 minutes and Carolina with 31 minutes of time of possession. And yeah, looking at those stats, man, that's just a super close game. Very, very close game. And when you have the ball, yeah, on the goal line, okay, it's fourth and goal. The play call, and this isn't a shot at Canales, the play call should 1000% not be a shotgun formation run. Like, I really thought we got past this with the Thomas Davis, or I'm sorry, wow, TD's always on the brain. That's my guy. With the Thomas Brown and Frank Wright. I mean, I was really hoping we got past that madness, that absolute nonsense. Like, I'm not saying it's completely ineffective, but it's just, in that specific situation as well, and in general, it's just better to be in a goal line I formation, something strong eye, whatever. You need a lead blocker to help you get into those short yard situations, especially in the red zone, literally on the goal line. Like, and it's weird. I don't know why I keep getting hiccups when I do the show. It's ridiculous. I get random hiccups when I'm talking. It's wild, but yeah, like that just blew my mind away, and we didn't convert, and that's literally, in my opinion, that's what it was. That was the straw. We did not execute that well, and unfortunately, I'm not going to put that on the guys. I mean, that's just a horrible play call. Again, I'm not taking a stab at Canales. I'm just saying, like, come on, dude. Why? What are we doing? Like, we didn't even have a motion coming in or nothing. It's mind-boggling. And then, and the reason why I bring it up now before I break it in this is in my keys, but before I get into that, it's just like looking at the stats, it's right there. This is why I always break down the stats first, because the stats just correlate right into the causation. And correlation, as I like to say, doesn't always lead to causation, but the numbers in the stats generally are very telling to the story. It's not the full story, but it's a good tell. And we basically, like I said, statistically won this game. We just had a missed opportunity with that opening drive. We need to run the goal line formation. Like, bring that Arby's package back, bro. We got all these extra tackles and linemen and tight ends and whatever. Get them out there. Like, why is Chuba Hubbard standing next to Andy Dalton in shotgun on the goal line when they already stuffed us a couple of times? You know what I mean? You got to get a lead blocker in there, man. Who cares if they know that we're running it? We're running it. You can know we're running it, but we're stronger and better than you are. You know what I mean? That's the mentality you got to have. We're stronger than you. We're going to run this shit right up your ass. Pardon my French, but we're going to run this right up, no Diddy. We're going to stop you. We're going to get in there. Like, good Lord. I don't get it. That's the type of juice we got to bring, especially in those red zones or, short yard situations. I really hate seeing those, reads, the option type, plays in the shotgun. Like, dude, what are we doing? Like, first of all, we don't even have a quarterback that's mobile enough to, like, make that viable for the defense. And again, these are no shots to Canales. He's still, a rookie head coach. Who am I? But I'm just saying, like, it's obvious, right? Who's not running the goal line at the goal line? Like, get the goal line formation out there. Get the big guys out there. Like I said, I want to see that Arby's package, man. I know that was under Ben McAdoo and all that, but adopt that. You know what I mean? Adopt that, mindset, right? The Arby's package. All right, yeah, let's get, Yash Nyman out there with, Brady Christensen, and then line up Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. You know what I mean? And have, Yash Nyman as your fullback in this Arby's package. Come on, man. Chuba is getting right in there, and you don't even need a power back then. You know what I mean? Because you got a big body to give him a lead block. I don't know, man. It's just that's what I would do, but I don't know. It's just that kills me, man. Watching that just really broke my heart. Just really upsetted me. But again, we are looking good, so we're not overly upset about that by any means. Just come on, get in the I formation, get in that goal line, get the big guys out there, and get them in the end zone. So back to the stats. Let's look at some of our, key players here and some of their stats. So Andy Dalton had a day. Again, that's, Red Rifle coming out there looking good for us. Again, he was 25 for 40. That's a 62.5 completion percentage with 220 yards, 5.5 yards, obviously per pass. well, per completion. And 2 touchdowns with the interception. Obviously, that interception was, I'm not gonna really say his fault, all like that. I can't remember the lineman that came around's name, but I think it was Hankerson or whatever. But he just got in there and got the back end of that ball, got his hand on it, which just slowed down the velocity there. And who was it? Von Bell was sitting right there to snag it up, which is hilarious. Like Von Bell, if you didn't know, he played for us last year. We had him, and he played for Cincinnati prior to that. So he went back to Cincinnati, and we played them this past game. But yeah, so Andy Dalton still looks great. I'm very happy with him being, like I've said in the last podcast, our bridge until further notice. But yeah, and if you watch some of the film that they've been putting out on, like his mic when he was mic'd up and stuff. Yeah, he's a funny guy, man. He's just out there, and when you watch him too, he's having fun. He's having fun, man. He's just enjoying it, and that's the beauty of it. Like, dude's out there just having a good old time. Like I said, he was just eating granola bars and freaking drinking Capri Suns on the sidelines over there. Now he's out there throwing touchdowns every game. He's just enjoying himself, having a good time, and you gotta love that. And the guy's a great character, and I'm super super grateful for him to be here, and grateful that he still got a little juice in that tank. Yeah. So Andy Dalton, man, he's doing his thing. Moving on here, Chuba Hubbard. We all know this is my guy. You know, self advocate for Chuba Hubbard here, but Chuba Hubbard had 18 carries for 104 yards, 5.8, almost 6 yards average. Good lord. 1 touchdown, 38 was his longest with 4 receptions, 17 yards. That's 4.5 almost average with obviously no touchdowns, and his longest reception was 6 yards. Chuba's just that dude. He's on a pace for 1,000 yards. If you didn't know who he was, you better recognize he's an absolute animal. And it's really unfortunate that we drafted Brooks, not against the Brooks drafting, because I'm with most other scouts and everybody else that he's going to be good. But you got somebody that's already shown you production and has improved again the following season. Geez. I mean, it's a tough decision. It really sucks. I don't want to lose Chuba Hubbard. I really feel like he's going to be a leader. I was really hoping he would have got that C on his chest this year. Still hopeful because they're rotating that other captain, but we'll see. But yeah, I just really love Chuba, man. He's a dog. Dude's everything a Panther's about. Dude runs harder than a brick wall. He just really goes after it, gives it everything he's got every single play. He's not really that true power back, which we really need to complement him. Get rid of Miles Sanders' bum ass. That dude can't run a ball for shit. He had a pretty good game, this just past week here, but he's a bum. Respectfully, I mean, who am I? I can't play at his level, but I'm just saying, if we're comparing to other guys, yeah, I mean, Chuba's a light years ahead of him, and he came from a good team in Philly and had a good season there, but you're working with the same stuff Chuba's working with, and he's eating. Just saying. That offensive line that year he blew up was really good. Not saying it was because of that. I'm just, you have to look into it. But Chuba's a dog. That's my guy. Should be the captain. One of the captains. He should be 1,000% having 1,000 yards this season. And it's a contract year for him, so it's really unfortunate. Hopefully we get him back. Maybe a little tandem thing with Brooks and him. But, Chuba's an every down back, man. He's got to eat. He's got to eat. But that's how he gets going. But I don't know. We'll see what we do. I really hope we keep him though. But yeah, so moving on, Deontay Johnson again had another great game with 7 receptions. He was 13 targets and 83 yards. 11.9 yard average for him. Fantastic. That's a first down every time he touches it, and then 1 touchdown. So he really, really killed it. He really killed it. He had a great game. Again, Deontay Johnson has been a significant boost for us offensively. And, I was very excited about getting him, and he's proven why we were mostly all excited about getting him. Some probably weren't, but that's all right. Everybody's has their own flavors. But I was very happy with us getting Deontay Johnson, and this is why. Very underrated player. Said it last week in my podcast. Very underrated player, but he's a great player. Absolutely. So shout out to Deontay. Thank you for coming here. Hopefully he's another guy. Obviously, we only got him, I believe, on a 1 year. So we'll see if he wants to resign next year. Hopefully, because we can really build up with him. He's 29, I think, this year. So we could only get him for like 2-3 years at most of like, prime solid, production. But I wouldn't mind taking him for at least 2 more years after this year, 100%, if he's willing to stay. Hopefully he is. And then moving on, Xavier Leggett, my dog, my number one target in the draft, XL baby. He lit it up in this game here. Not only did he light it up, but he got his first career touchdown. First the Bengals, and he rode dollar bill in the end zone for a celebration, and it was absolutely fantastic. I knew about it ahead of time because I watched this little video about him saying he was gonna do it. So when he caught the touchdown, I was like, do it right down, right down. And he did. It was great. So very excited for XL. Shout out to you, man. All your success, current and future, especially for all the other guys I just mentioned. This is moving forward are some of our core here. So keep on rocking. His actual stats though was 6 receptions for 66 yards. Eesh, not good. Just kidding. 11 yards again, a first down every time he touched it, and a touchdown. So he had 10 targets that game, and if I didn't mention it, pretty sure I did, but Deontay Johnson had 13 targets. So, yeah, out there making plays, man. Out there making plays. And like I said, XL got his first touchdown. That's very exciting. Very, very exciting. That's my guy, and I'm super happy that we got him. Again, draft analysis, big thing I do. Scouting, talent, valuation. Love it. And he was my number one target at 33. If you don't believe me, check the timeline. Moving on. Some takeaways and obs. Again, kind of went over some stuff, but we'll just re-go over it quick. The Panthers offense, we looked, really good still. That's the big thing. The Panthers offense still looked good. As I said, we had some missed opportunities that helped lead to the loss. However, we can clean those up. We can clean those issues right up, 100%. But again, the 4th and goal shotgun run, it's not a way to win the game. We really got to bring that Arby's package back. Some kind of I formation, goal line formation, normal goal line formation that 90% of the league runs with a lead blocker, anything but a shotgun run, formation run. Just absolutely crazy. Just absolutely crazy. We can't be doing that. But still positive takeaway. We look good. Just some missed opportunities there. And then another key missed opportunity was that fake punt. I love the call to go for it on 4th down there. Just not with a fake punt. And if you are going to do it with a fake punt, please don't do it with Felipe Franks. Let's have some dignity here. No disrespect to Felipe Franks, but you got Jatavion Sanders on the sideline there. I don't know if he's on the sideline, but get the Jatavion Sanders on there. Get him out there so he can make that catch because, Tay don't drop that 100%. I would just really like to see us line up there, whatever, a shotgun formation, no surprise, and not run it. But yeah, I would like to see us line up there and just try to go for that 4th down on 4th and 3 there versus the fake punt. And again, if you are going to call a fake punt, like I said, have your better pass catching tight end making that reception. But overall, I do like it. A little trickery, but I feel like we didn't really need it. It wasn't necessary. That's just my opinion, but still a positive. Still a positive that we're trying some things. We're trying to, we're trying to be competitive, and that's great. And we look competitive too, and that's fantastic. And then, so another one here we got is, our running game. The Panthers running game showed absolutely great promise again. Which will be another positive takeaway for our future games. Obviously, Chuba Hubbard ran for over 100 yards, as I said, and he had 155 total rushing yards on the day. So, I'm sorry, we had a total 155 rushing yards on a day. So that's just crazy. So we're really running the ball well. I would like to see us stick to it a little bit more. Get a little bit more time of possession, slow things down, manage it a little better. But for Dave Canales' first rodeo here, he's doing good. And thirdly here, we're the lowest pressured, rates allowed this week. The lowest team pressure rates allowed in week 4 was the number 1 was the Carolina Panthers. I believe it was 14.3%. The Panthers O-line has impressed over the last 4 games here, few games, whatever. And they've been a standout position group for us. A lot of us were concerned about that group, but they are playing lights out. From Austin Corbett to, Ike Ekwonu I'm not going to toot his horn too much. He's, improved a little bit over this offseason, but he's, as I said last week, he's still got some things to clean up in that pass protection, but he will get there, and things are very promising. You're going from one of the worst offensive lines to one of the best is, great. Cannot be mad about that at all. But, nonetheless, even with all those positives, we still struggled. And the Panthers defense had issues with tackling, which allowed the Bengals to capitalize on big plays. Obviously, the Jamar Chase touchdown, the Chase Brown touchdown. So, we're just not tackling. We're not wrapping up. We're not, completing our tackles. We're not finishing or following through, and that's excuse me, always going to be a recipe for disaster. And even though, despite a strong effort from Andy Dalton, who killed it, we couldn't keep up because we're hurt on the defense. And again, I'm not throwing any shade on the defense. I said it earlier, we're definitely suffering for some injuries, so I'm not completely writing them off here. But the defense is banged up, man. We got basically C squad guys out there right now playing, and they're still playing pretty good. I would like to see us move to the 4-3 and get out of this whatever hybrid scheme we're running with, Rivero here or Rivero. It's just yeah, it ain't it, man. I mean, I know we're statistically not like garbage, but we're definitely bottom right now. So I would like to see it get cleaned up. At the same time, it is a lot of contribution to the injuries, but yeah, moving on. Just we gotta try to seize those opportunities that we had again in the beginning of the game. If we get that touchdown, it's probably a different conversation we're having. But the Bengals offense, we'll give them a little praise here. The Bengals offense was able to go off a little bit on us. Joe Burrow had a solid game. He was 22 for 31, 232 yards for 2 touchdowns and a pick. He's averaging 70.9 completion percentage. So, yeah, he's been playing lights out. He's been quietly having a very good season, even though they're 1-3. We're gonna just kind of wrap this up here quickly. But yeah, he's playing pretty good. And then along with Chase Brown, he was running all over the defense. He had 80 yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 carries. So he was definitely just running amok on us with Zach Moss there. So obviously we know our run defense isn't the greatest. It was a key factor we needed to focus to, contain Cincinnati because their run game is pretty good. It's a little underrated. So especially complemented with their very good passing attack. And obviously the Bengals wide receivers, made an impact. Chase, Jamar Chase is a standout, especially T. Higgs. He was good. Jamar Chase had he had 85 yards and a touchdown. And T. Higgins also had a great game. He had 6 receptions for 60 yards. He had no touchdowns, but he was getting a lot of separation. And he was just, they were both critical parts to the Bengals' victory. Dalton threw an interception, which was a setback, but overall, he played very well under pressure. And, efficiency-wise, he had a great, I don't want to say great, but good completion percentage and managed the game pretty well. So overall, not too shabby. Not too shabby for the takeaways. So, as I said, we did have some key injuries here. We did lose Josie Jewell to a hamstring, and then Shaq Thompson was placed on IR. So, we did lose some key players. Like I said, we definitely have guys down. The defense is down bad, and we have to cut them just a smidge of slack. It's not like we got our aces out there and we're not, performing to the level we expect. But as I said, though, we do have the lowest pressure rates allowed in week 4. Offense is looking good. We got a lot of positive takeaways. We got some negatives too, but overall, we're playing much better. We look much better, and that's all we could ask for in this season right now in year 1 with Dave Canales. It's just looking a little better than we have over the last couple of years. That's promise, and we are. So we got some guys down. But we do got some guys returning from injury coming up for our next week game. Cincinnati almost said coming up for our next week's game here against Chicago. And we got Damian Lewis coming back. He was limited participation. Same with Nick Scott, Shai Tuttle, Andrew Ram, Ian Thomas, and Dane Jackson were all limited participation, meaning that they should hopefully be returning soon, along with Lonnie Johnson, who is actually full participant. So looking to see some reinforcements come alive here because we have been banged up over these last few games. So it is nice to get some guys back here So let's move into PFF grades and finish up the show here as always. So our best of the offense, Andy Dalton coming in at number 1 with a 79.1. Number 2, I know it's knocking him a little bit, Miles Sanders. He had a 73.4. He had a good game per se from recent past. I'm not completely down on the guy. We just got so many running backs and whatever. But he had a good game. So Jatavion Sanders, he also had a pretty good game too, 72.7. Deontay Johnson, 71.5, and then Chuba Hubbard with 69.5. The worst of the offense coming in number 1 here was Tommy Tremble with 45. Eesh, not good, my guy, but that's all right. He'll get that better. Jonathan Mingo again. Yeah, this guy. I don't have enough time to talk about him. Coming at number 2, and then David Moore at number 3. Jalen Coker was 4, and then the least worst was Brady Christensen at 5 with 57.5. So yeah, and sorry, Mingo was a 52.3. David Moore was a 54.5, and then Coker was a 56.6. And then the best of the defense, Shaq Thompson coming in at a solid 79.5 before his unfortunate injury. So yeah, I posted it the other day. It's probably the last time we see Shaq Thompson in a Carolina Panther uniform on that field. But best of luck to him and everything and all his endeavors. And I appreciate everything he's done for our franchise. And he's a great dude. So love Shaq. Thomas Akum, or Incum or Incon, whatever you want to call him. Some dude that we just picked up because we're so banged up. He played pretty decent. He had a 77.0, right on the money. And then Jadeveon Clowney, 69.1. DJ Johnson had a pretty solid game at a 67.4. And then JC Horn, as you know, had an okay game at a 66.8. Worst of the defense, we got Trevin Wallace here at a 51.4, so he was the least worst. Troy Hill was at 51.1. Nick Thurman, 50.1. LeBron Ray with a 45, and then Charles Harris with a 38. Even though he almost made that pick, I believe it was him. But yeah, that's it for the PFF grades, best and worst. And that will conclude today's show. As I always like to end it, I really, truly, deeply appreciate everybody that is listening and has been listening and been following me on this journey. It's absolutely tremendously appreciated. It's just really, I can't, put it into words how appreciative I am of the listeners and, Carolina Panthers and, the ability to be able to do this. So I really, really appreciate everyone. Again, thank you so much. Can't do it without y'all. Can't do it without the Panthers. And can't do it without the support of my family. So again, I hope everybody can, just look forward to next week. It's not the end of the road here because we lost. Definitely plenty of games left. Don't worry, Panther fans. Still plenty of time left, plenty of games left. I've said it before, though. This is the evaluation season, so temper those expectations, even with Andy Dalton. But hey, we look good. We're competitive, and we're back, baby. We are back. We're no longer bottom of the barrel. We're competitive, and that's good. So, as always, God bless. Keep pounding, and first and goal, out.